So namaste, I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine. So we are creating Scyther and we have created total 3 videos on him. Please do check it out and we will complete the making part in this video. So till now we have created him till here, you can see. So what I've done over here for the face, first thing, that is I had just added some clay and I had just added some small amounts of clay on the beak and also towards his eyes. And I allow it to harden for around 2 hours. Now after that, I will start making the face. And this is the first thing, or I will say this is the first way that I'm making this face. I also show a second way, which is more easier one. But this first way will give you more kind of a perfect or realistic look, and the second one will give you kind of a what I will say it's somewhat a good look but not at all realistic, but yes, it will do your work for sure. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding clay. This is a new mixed clay. The clay that I'm using is Clavicul molded, in case if you don't know. It's also mentioned in the thumbnail as well. So whenever we are making the faces, remember we have to make it in parts by parts. More complicated face, more parts by parts we have to make it, right? So like this I am doing. You can see over here. Now I have created the eye first like this so that it helps me. It will help me get a which part must come where. And it will help me get a thing that the nose must be here, the eyes must be there. That's why I make the eyes first and then I allow it to harden for around 2 hours. So like this I can give it a shape to the eyes as well, right? You can see over here. With that from spatula I am giving the shape to the eyes. Now if I am making the eyes with this only, what will happen is that whenever I am giving the shape to the eye structure will get damaged. The proper ball that we had created for the eyes, it will get damaged. There are chances that might happen. So I create the eyes first and allow it to harden for 2 hours. This is how I'm just creating the mouth. Now see, we have only less time, like around 2 hours. Within 2 hours you have to make the face. So at start I'm gonna only make this front part of the face only. Now if you think it is difficult for you, what you must do is only make the eyes part first, allow it to harden for 2 hours, then start making the mouth part, then allow it to harden for 2 hours and then start with the other part. Like this, parts by parts you can create. If you go to create whole thing at start, you won't be able to create it. Now you can see over here I'm just using a silicone tool. In case if you want any ideas regarding any tool, or if you want any info regarding any tool, there is a beginner's tutorial video which I have made. Please do watch that. I have given all information on whichever tools that I am using. It is difficult to work whenever you're making a figure with joints, because the joints that the other things that are the arms and everything, they will keep on falling here and there, they'll keep on coming in middle whenever you're creating, so that will happen. So now you can see he's getting a little bit shape right now. Now what I am gonna do is I am only creating the upper part of the face. I won't be creating the lower part of the face. You can see this upper part is more outwards. So I am ignoring the lower part right now. I am not gonna create that. I am only creating the upper part of the face. That is the eyes and the upper mouth. This is something. Now what I am doing is I am watching the images of his face side by side. Now this face making process is around 1.5 hours long. I am skipping some parts because I have to club this whole thing in within 10 minutes so that this video becomes watchable. That's why. It is not easy. It is, I want to say, it is difficult as well. It is tricky and you have to, be much more used to this game. Now till I have created till here right now. Now what I will do is I will allow this to harden for around 2 hours. Now it has been hardened for around 2 hours. Now I will make the horns over here. You can see his images. He has horns or spikes. I don't know what to call that. But there are 3 in total. There are also more towards the neck, but since here there is a ball joint, And if I make the horn at the neck as well, or the back side of the neck, that will be an issue. Now you can see what I am doing is I am just doing some do-overs, or I am trying to get him a proper shape. Previously, this shape was more inside like this, right? So what I am doing is I am trying to add clay and I will merge this. Do this when the clay is very soft. See how I am working on the face. I guess you are getting an idea right now. Like I am getting it parts by parts. The points or the places where the clay is more inside or more pressed out, I will allow it to dry for 2 hours, and then later on I'll add clay on it and I'll merge it like this with the help of water, and I will try to make a shape proper like this. You can see it's not possible to make a proper shape at start within one try within 2 hours whenever you are working on this clay. At least it's not for me because I'm not that expert. But if anyone who is a great sculptor who can, you can easily do this. But for me it takes time, so I always work on parts by parts. I make some shapes, allow it to dry, and then I start making the other one. And I also try to correct the shape by adding clay on it later on, whenever it is fully hard. I'm trying my best to share as much as possible. If you guys are understanding it, then it's okay. If you guys are not understanding it, then you can let me know in the comment section. We'll try to explain it as much as possible. And also, I will let me know if you want any workshops or something, online workshops or something where we can discuss some things, and I can also guide through the process of making faces. So like this, I'm creating the horns or the spikes. I don't know what to call it again, or antennas maybe, because insects do have antennas. His face is like a dragon, probably. His face has a dragonish thing to it. By the way, the whole face thing which we did before, it has been completely dried up, been completely hardened up, and then afterwards I'm creating the horns. Now, just in case, if you don't want to add, iron rods, iron rods, not so metal rods there, you can also directly create the horns like this as well. Now, I always add metal rods to any of my sculptures just to make them more durable, because if this falls down, because I am expert in rough handling, so that happens, that whenever that falls down it breaks, but whenever you have rods inside it, or wires inside it, so that whenever that breaks there are only cracks that appears, so you can minimize those cracks by filling the clay. Now what I am doing over here is, if you can see, there are gaps like this, that are some places where the clay is not yet reached fully whenever we were making it. So what I am doing over here is I just mixed some dew for the clay, and I am adding it over here like this, just covering it up. Add the clay over there, then I take some water and rub it and try to merge it. Like this at various places I will keep on doing this. You can see there are many places these things happen, and still later on I will sand it over there. Okay. Now I'm just showing you the easy way. If you think that this method was little bit difficult for you to make the face, now what you have to do is make a cone shape first like this. Take a new clay, the cone shape first like this. Then hold it like this. If you attach it to some other piece or some other volume, that will be more easy. Then later on you have to use your two fingers and give it a shape like this. Isn't it easy? Now you can use a spatula, or even you can use an hand to get a proper shape. Now you can directly start making the eyes with the help of a spatula. You can pin tool won't do. Pin tool won't work over here. You will need a spatula for this. Like this, you can see the eyes are now coming out. Now with the help of your hands, you can also pinch some areas outwards, and then you can give it some nose. Then you can also give lines, and you can make his mouth as well. This is the easiest way to make the face. It is not necessary to you have to make it like what I have done, because this will also give you good results later on. If you finish this up or smoothen this up later on, this will also look amazing. There is no, like, this is the shortcut method. or it depends whichever method you want, you can make it, right? So this is just, I'm just showing it to you that there is no excuse for you of not creating this, right? So again, what I'm doing is sanding now. We cannot attain smoothness directly with the help of hand rubbing or adding water. So later on, after it's completely ready, you have to sand it off by using a sandpaper. Sandpaper that I'm using is, I guess, 220 size. Sandpaper is something which you can get at any hardware store. If you're working with clay or mainly air drying clay, sandpaper is something which is very, very necessary. Like this, you can sand it over here. There are different methods because these are some tricky places where your direct hand won't go. So you will have to sand it like this. I would always recommend to sand so that your artwork looks more smooth. Now we are done with it, and you can see all and everything is completely done. You might require a little bit more sanding, which I will do it later on. But yeah, for now the making part is done, and you can do. I also in the next part we will show the coloring, and I also show how to tighten up the joints as well. So till then, I guess we are done with here. And even if you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. We'll always be happy to help. Till then, see you next time with this same creation.